Now that was a straight up weird ending. So we have two brothers at the end, after the ending song. We have two brothers. Most likely they both have their own individual stands. And one of the brothers, the younger one, has a picture book that's like a manga. And this picture book tells the future. So I'm like, that's a scary fucking stand. Like, that's a straight up scary stand, because if this picture book, this boy with his stand, I don't know what stand it is, most likely one of the Egyptian gods, whoever this is, that ability is scary as fuck. And that's most likely who we're gonna get to see next. So, I'm wondering, how do you beat someone that can actually see the future? That's the thing. I mean, how does that book work? That's the big question that pops up in my mind when I actually see that in this episode. Okay, here's the thing. With that book, I'm curious, did the book only change when the dude grabbed it and was looking for the book? Or did the book already change into something like that? I'm just really curious, because the ability of that book is really shrouded in mystery. Because, I mean, we don't know necessarily if those pages showed that poor innocent dude that just wanted to look at that book, if he actually was going to die on that telephone pole. For instance, he might not have died unless he actually looked at that book. So, I wonder exactly how that book works. I mean, is it because you touch the book that it controls your fate? A lot of questions, but anyways, we have some major information that was at the end of this episode. For one thing, the new 9 different, like, lackeys underneath Dio has been revealed. Now, their abilities have not been revealed, but we could pretty much guess. We find out that the blind dude in this episode that was defeated, he is actually one of the Egyptian gods. Like, his stand card was, like, representing one of the Egyptian gods, and it was, like, Geb. I think that's what it, G-E-B, Geb, or something like that. And so, pretty much we're going to be seeing stands that represent the Egyptian gods. Now, I'm not really knowledgeable when it comes to certain Egyptian gods. I do know a couple, but I don't know all of them. I do know of Ra and Anubis. Those are the really only two I know about, and if they're really going to be doing the 9 Egyptian gods, that means we're going to get to see Ra and Anubis. And I'm like, oh shit, Anubis? That is going to be scary as fuck. I can't wait to see one of these stands that represent Anubis. That's going to be some form of necromancy or some type of shit like that. So, that's definitely going to be a creepy stand user. And then you have Ra on top of that. Oh, dude, Ra. Oh, fuck. So, I'm really interested now. These new enemies that popped up, finding out that they actually represent Egyptian gods, has my interest intrigued about what we will see in the future. And, I mean, what makes them so different? I mean, like, we know they're tarot cards and all that. We know that the tarot cards are going to be representing the Egyptian gods. So, I wonder exactly what makes them so different from the regular tarot cards. I mean, what makes them so different? I mean, from what we saw from this one, the blind dude's actual, like, Egyptian tarot card, it seemed like a standard stand, pretty much. I mean, he controlled, like, this water through the dirt, and, like, he could attack anybody. He can go in any substance of water. And so, I mean, what makes the stand, like the Egyptian god tarot cards, actually so much different from the normal ones? There has to be some form of catch here. There has to be. So, anyways, moving past that, with this episode of JoJo, we get a really badass fucking song. Like, oh, dude. Right when you see Jotaro punch that blind guy in the chest, you see the blood come out of him, that freaking music, oh dude, that BGM, man, oh my god, that, I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventures music, and that soundtrack I'm definitely getting once this is over, because, oh my god, that soundtrack, man, I was like, oh shit, I could already see this soundtrack being abused in the future, because it was just that damn good. And then we get some actual characterization for Iggy. We get some more, little bit of characterization for Iggy. And for the most part, I want to be honest here. Iggy, what an asshole. Just straight up, what a fucking asshole. Iggy is an asshole. Like, the dude put gum in Jotaro's hat. Like, chocolate fucking gum. At first, I thought it was shit. I really thought that, like, chocolate shit was actual shit. Because we have seen a baby being forced to eat shit in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure before. So, I thought, you know, Iggy took a shit in it. But no, it was gum. He spit out his gum, put it in Jotaro's hat. And I'm like, oh my god, I would be killing me a dog if that shit happened to me. Like, oh, I'm so surprised Jotaro did not hurt Iggy at that point, because, I mean, Iggy at first, he seemed, like, very cute at the end, like, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, that's pretty much how he was acting, and all of a sudden he comes around, he puts gum in Jotaro's hat, and then Jotaro puts it on, oh, Oh, I would be so fucking pissed. If that was me, I'd be so pissed. Especially your signature hat. Now, that's one thing I want to talk about. Jotaro's hat fell off. Like, what the fuck? Like, okay, I don't know if this has ever been clarified or not, but I always thought Jotaro's hat was his hair. Like, it was attached to his hair, or it was his hair. Like, the hat looked like his fucking hair turned into a hat. Like its hair hat, whatever. And it came off, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was just shocked, because that's a hat? I thought it was his hair. Like, he curled his hair like that, put it into a shape of a hat. I thought it was. And so I never really questioned, because JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is very bizarre. But we find out it's actually a hat, and I'm like, the fuck? Like, and when I look at, you know, Jotaro's head, the hat always looks connected, or the hair hat, whatever it is, it always looks like it's his hair. And so, the mystery of Jotaro's hat, it compels me. It really fucking compels me with this episode. I'm like, how? How? Anyways, moving past that, okay? Iggy, getting back onto the factor of Iggy, besides the factor with him putting gum in Jotaro's hat, he is a very selfish dog. We pretty much kind of keyed in on that in the last episode, but with this, once again, he proves his selfish nature, because he actually was going to sacrifice Jotaro to the stand user. He was like putting him on the ground trying to sacrifice him, and you know, Jotaro's being dragged, and Jotaro's going to strangle and break the butt's neck. I'm like, oh dude, like we're about to see some animal cruelty once again. Like Jotaro was about to snap Iggy's neck, and so, whoa. And Iggy was like shitting bricks, literally. Like, he was farting and shitting himself when he was floating. Like, he heard farts like, I'm like, oh. So, episode, man. It was a good episode. I mean, straightforward episode. You have it to where Jotaro and Iggy try to get to the blind dude and try to best him. The actual stand user suicides himself and kills himself for Dio. So once again, we're showing signs of how loyal these servants are to Dio, and just shows you how compelling Dio is as a person to make all these certain stand users actually fall for him. So can't wait to finally see Dio and how he looks in the future, because I mean, I remember how he looks at the end of part 1, but I really want to see how Dio looks in part 3, because I can't wait. I can't wait to see updated animation and the swag of Dio. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.